Hello everyone, this is Stephen Balch, your instructor for Small Business Management at Ozarka College. Today what I'm going to do is give you just a little bit of feedback on the Chapter 7 and 8 activities that I finished grading earlier this week. And then I'm going to also give you some feedback on the midterm exam, which closed last night. And remind you a little bit about the semester project. And then I'm going to tell you what we've got coming up due for our next set of activities for chapters 9 and 10. All right, so the first thing is, like I said, I did finish grading the chapter 7 and 8 activities earlier this week. If you haven't looked at your grades for those activities and read the grading comments, go ahead and do that as soon as you can. And let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Most of you did well on those activities, and like I always tell you, I really appreciate the time and effort that most of you are putting in to doing the work for this class. There are a couple of you that probably need to spend a little bit more time and kind of get started on the activities earlier so that you give yourself plenty of time. But overall, most of you are doing well, so keep up the good work on that. The midterm exam, like I said just a minute ago, closed last night, Wednesday night, and I've gone in and looked at the grades. Most of you did pretty well on the midterm exam. I will open up the midterm exam for review purposes a little bit later today, this afternoon. So if you have questions about the ones that you missed on the midterm exam, just let me know. And you can use the midterm exam review to kind of help you study for the final exam. All right, just let me know if you have any questions about that. All right, the semester project. Make sure that you're continuing to work on that. You should have quite a bit of it done already at this point in the semester. It's due next month. In fact, let's look at the activities and see the exact day that it's due here. It is due by April 21st. So it's not really that far away. So, and of course, we have spring break in there. And if you don't want to do work during spring break, that cuts down the time even more. So you don't really have as much time as you might think you do to get that semester project completed and submitted. So if you're not at least halfway done with that, then you need to be working this week on that before spring break, because after spring break, things get a lot faster. You know, you're going to have a lot of things due for other classes, and you may have less time for this class after spring break. So I would highly encourage you to get as much done as you can this week before spring break, and make sure, you know, this week and next week, and make sure that you know, you give yourself plenty of time. Don't wait too long to get started on that. It's called a semester project for a reason. It takes the whole semester to get it completed. So just kind of keep that in mind. Let me know if you have questions. All right. Midterm grades. I posted the midterm grades for this class this morning. Go ahead and look at your midterm grade as soon as you can. Let me know if you have any questions. It shouldn't be a surprise. It'll be whatever letter grade corresponds to whatever percentage grade you currently have in the class. So it shouldn't be a surprise, but if it is, just let me know. Just send me a course mail, and I'll be happy to look at it for you. Okay? All right. So that brings us to what we've got coming up due next. So right now we are on kind of towards the end of week 9, or really kind of in the middle, I guess, middle to the end of week 9 of the semester here. And we don't have anything else due this week. We just had our midterm due last night. But we do have work due next week. Specifically, chapters 9 and 10 activities are due by Friday of next week. So you've got just a little over a week to be working on those. So don't wait until the end of next week to get started. You won't have enough time. So it takes time to actually, you know, watch the videos and read the textbook section. So make sure you're doing that. Okay. Chapter 9, by the way, deals with cash flow and taxes. So in Chapter 9, you're going to learn about the importance of managing cash flow. It's very critical, especially for a small business that's not usually generating a lot of revenue on a regular basis, on a monthly basis. You really have to have enough cash flow to pay all your bills, pay your employees, and keep the business going. It's very important. So in Chapter 9, you're going to learn about how we manage, the importance of managing cash flow, and then also some of the ways that we can better manage cash flow in a business. You'll also look at the rules for managing cash flow, the working capital cycle. You'll learn about how to read a cash flow statement, how to manage inventory, how to manage receivables and accounts payable. Also, towards the end of Chapter 9, you'll learn about the time value of money. And the time value of money creates a situation where if we don't have enough resources in our small business, don't have enough cash to pay for future expenses, then we're going to have to borrow. And that's where the time value of money, because of that, we have to pay interest on any money that we borrow. And so that's why that is presented in Chapter 9 when we're talking about cash flow and taxes. And then towards the end of Chapter 9, you'll also learn about something that's very closely tied to the time value of money, which is present and future value. And then finally in Chapter 9, you'll learn about taxes, all the various taxes that you must pay for the business itself, but also your employees. You have to pay payroll taxes on them as well. Okay? All right. That's Chapter 9. Chapter 10 deals with financial statements. So you're going to learn about the two most common types of financial statements that a business generates, which are the income statement and the balance sheet. You'll learn about all the different parts of each one of those. All right? And then finally in Chapter 10, you're going to learn about financial ratios. You know, there's something called the current ratio, and there's various ratios that allow us to kind of assess the health of our the financial position of our business, so that we can make better decisions on how to use our resources to produce the good or service that we're producing in a profitable way. Okay? All right, so that's Chapters 9 and 10. So be working on those. Again, don't wait until next week. Go ahead and start now, and that way you'll have plenty of time. And then if you run into problems as you're working on your coursework, just send me a course mail, and I'll be glad to get back with you very quickly and answer any questions that you have. All right, so that's all I have for you for today. So enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy next week. And I will talk to you again sometime after spring break. So have a good spring break as well. Thank you.